Okay, so to make your own Google site for your AP summer work, I'm just going to go over that real briefly, so this way you kind of know what to do if you haven't never done it before. If you have done this before, then you're good to go. So you're going to go in your Drive, and you go down to More and scoot over to Google Sites. Okay, so you have an untitled site that you're going to start to create. So you can call this whatever you'd like. You could call it, AP 3D design. If you just want to call it, um, something else like your name and, AP website or something like that. I'm fine with whatever you want to call it because you're going to just share this with me. So, so whatever you want to call it is fine. If you look under here, you'll see that there's different ways that you can insert sheets and slides and docs and all that kind of stuff. You can add all that if you want to. That's completely up to you. On here is the pages that you'll have in your site. So they'll like just kind of have a list. If you need to make a new page, you go to the plus sign and that will insert a new page into your website. And then you can choose from different sorts of themes. And you can, you know, update this too. And there's templates that you can find online and things like that. But these are just kind of the simple ones you have here. So I'm just going to call this title for right now. You can change your font. You can change your uh, text color, all that kind of stuff. So you need a few different pages on your website. And this is in the summer assignment, and it's also on the Google site that I posted that I made for you. So I'll just kind of go over the pages that you need for your site, and then you're going to be adding to this throughout the year. So this is I'm going to call this just sample. Um, and this will be something that you're going to be adding to and working on. The one thing that you want to remember is that every time you make changes to your site, you have to republish it. So this is the publish button, which means that you can now share the link and that it's going to be live online and I can see it. If you add things and then you don't update the publishing, then I won't see the new changes that you've made. So your first page, I'm just going to do a text box. This should be your welcome page. Okay, so it should have your name, list here, name, uh, you know, what's your interests, uh, picture of yourself. Okay, and then like any additional info that you want to put on here. Once you, if you're a senior, once you decide on college, you could put that on there. But it's just going to be giving the viewer an overview of who you are. All right, so then when that's completed, you're going to go to pages. I'm going to add a new page. And my new page, I'm going to call selected works. All right, so you should have a home page, which is your welcome page. You should have a selected work page. And this is where I'm going to go back to insert. It's where you will post your 5 selected works, images, text, dimensions. Okay, so that'll be on this page, and you should have 1 or 2 done over the summer because you should begin working on your selected works over the summer, and then throughout the year you can add the other 2 or 3 that you need. You need 5 total. Okay, so 5 selected works total for the AP portfolio, and then I'm going to go back to pages, pick a new one, and then you're going to have your sustained investigation piece. Okay, so your sustained investigation is kind of the area that you're going to work on the most throughout the year. It's going to address an inquiry question that we're going to talk about first thing in when you return back to school. So that should be at the top of your website. So insert text box here, say um, inquiry question, and then you're going to write what that is. Your inquiry question should be something like, with this work, I am exploring what it means to be a human during this time of climate change in 2021, or what does it mean to have immigrant parents and to be a teenager growing up in the United States at this time. So something that you're trying to kind of figure out for yourself that you're going to be working through with the work that you're going to be making this year in AP. And this doesn't have to have a resolution. It can be something that is like an ongoing investigation, or it can be something that kind of has like a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it's really up to you how you want to present it, but it's just a point of view that you are trying to explore, that only you can come at it with your experience. So something that nobody else can really share with, because it's something that's kind of like generated from you. You're going to need put in another section here, so you can add like fancy things like dividers. So I'm going to do that. So selected works, sustained investigation is 15 images total. So I like to say that students should complete 10 to 12 finished artworks. All right, and then the other uh, images that you have there. So process images should be 3 to 5 images. Process images means images actually of your sketchbook. And if you look on my AP Google site, you'll see some examples of what students submitted this year, where they would have an image from their sketchbook, and then they would show the work that they made from those sketches. And it can change, it can evolve from what your plan is, but you want to have something that is showing your process. The AP is wanting to see kind of like where your ideas are coming from, and then what you have made that that is like kind of the culmination of that idea. The other thing about the process images that I encourage my students to do is I encourage them to write notes on their sketchbook pages, because you can take a photograph of that and submit it. And as you will see, when you begin uploading things to your portfolio, there is not a lot of space for writing. So you are not going to be able to explain your artwork with words in the portfolio. However, the workaround for that is to have notes in your sketchbook, and then photograph that so that the readers can see kind of like the notes that you were making and get a clearer idea of the work that you're trying to, the ideas that you're trying to convey with this work. So we'll talk more about that during the year, but I just wanted to say the sustained investigation, you're showing the finished artwork and the process images for each piece. Okay. And then the next page that you're going to need to have is your written statement. This you won't complete until the spring. I have you write a rough draft of it for midterm. It's called the written evidence in your portfolio, but it's just something that you're going to be having here, and then kind of updating it as you go. And basically that's the artist statement that you're going to be writing about your sustained investigation. So the selected works are kind of out on their own. You don't need to talk about them, but the written evidence is going to say, like, what was your inquiry question? How did you approach it? What did you do for process? How did you revise some of your ideas? How did you experiment with your ideas? Those are all the things that they want to see in your written evidence. They want to see process. They want to see your inquiry, process, experimentation, and revision. And then your last two pages are what you're going to be working on this summer. So you're working on your inspo board, which is going to be kind of like your personal Pinterest board. And you need see here. So 50 artworks. Links if possible. And you can really group this as much as you want. You can group it according to artists. If there's a particular artist that you really like, you can kind of put all their artwork together. If you are, just looking for something that's kind of similarly themed, like artwork about the idea of, home, then you could group it that way. So it's work from lots of different artists, but they're all under kind of the same umbrella theme of home. Or if you're looking for something that's related to the idea of fashion or street art or something like that, you could group it that way. So you could kind of group it like graffiti art or something like that. So you can group this however you want to, whatever makes sense for what your interests are. But you want to be starting to look around at either online or in person, the artwork that's kind of around you, and using it as a springboard for what you're going to be doing for your own work. Because even though you're not going to be copying work exactly for your own AP work, you kind of want to see what other people are doing. And then your last page that you're going to be making is your 30 best photos. Okay, so this page is photos that you have taken, all right, not from the internet. And once again, you're going to kind of group these according to your interests. Color, mood, like are these happy? Are these sad? Are these more contemplative? Thematic, like fashion, street art, family, self, things that are just like really about like you and who you are, like almost like a visual self portrait. So however you want to do that, I would say you would need at least 3 groups of 5 or more photos. So that's only going to give you 15, and then you can have the other 15 kind of loose, but you at least want to group at least 15 photos into kind of like certain categories for yourself. All right, so just to kind of revisit all of this, you should have all these pages built on your website during the summer, and then we're going to be adding to the selected works, the sustained investigation, and the written evidence throughout the school year next year. The inspo board and the 30 best photos, those should be completed by the end of the summer, so that when you're submitting your link to me to look at this in September, I can see all of the work that you have posted on your inspo board, and I can see all of the work that you have posted for your 30 best photos. Okay. If you want to add additional pages to your website, that's completely up to you. If you're, applying to college and you want to do a page for like your college portfolio, that's fine. This is kind of the idea of this is just having one central location where all of your artwork and information is needed for your AP. But if you're going to be using this for something like college applications and you want to add, additional pages to address those, to address that need, that's totally fine. This is your website. I'm going to be looking, at this stuff here that I just spoke about. But if you want to incorporate other pages and include other information for yourself, then that's completely within your rights, because this is your website. This is also something that could be interesting for college applications, because it's kind of showing, a technical tool that you're using to show progress as you're kind of working through this year. So, so definitely create this site with the idea that this could be something that you could use as a portfolio piece in and of itself later on for job applications or for college applications. So you want to make this site look, pleasing as in terms of something that other people are going to be viewing. So definitely, spend some time to kind of really like curate it and make it as nice as you can. All right, so I will include this for your AP summer work, and likewise, if you have any questions, over the summer, you can always email me or write to me through Google Classroom, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I am working this summer during it, during the day at a camp, but then after that, I'm available. So if I don't see it during the day, I'll always get back to you in the evening.